Hello folks, this is Jorge from 37 Signals, and in this video I would like to show you page refreshes with Morphing, the new feature that we have released in Turbo 8. So for this demo, I've created a very simple Rails application, which is a project manager, where you have projects, you have a screen listing the projects. A project can have tasks, so you can complete them. There is a progress bar that you will see updated here. There is like a counter of the pending tasks that you have there. You can delete tasks, you can create new ones, and you can delete projects. Of course, there is a warning dialog that you will see when there are pending tasks. When there are pending tasks and you want to delete the project, just to confirm that. And that's pretty much it. Under the hood is a very simple Rails application. This is almost scaffold code that I've modified to remove some boilerplate code that I didn't want. But it's essentially modifying records in the database and redirecting to whatever screen you want to redirect to for showing the results. Okay, so I'm using like the Turbo default, which is the default I recommend to everyone for starters, which is not doing anything, not using any API, and just let Turbo use its default approach, where whenever you modify the document, for example, I'm going to create a new task. Pay attention to the DOM inspector, to the header. The header remains in place. Turbo is just replacing the body of the page by keeping the header in place, except for the cross-site request forgery token in this case. The rest of the elements in the header were untouched. By doing that, it doesn't have to reprocess all the JavaScript and the CSS, and you get a fantastic response time. So that's the Turbo default. You don't have to do anything to use that. That's what I recommend to everyone for starters. Now, this is not always like the Turbo default. The responsiveness you get, well, it's fantastic. It might not be good enough depending on the screen and the application, and sometimes you need more fidelity. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to show like some problems with this approach. I'm adding like some tasks to the project to get some scroll. Now I'm going to, for example, select this text and complete this task. So as you saw there, I lost the test selection and I lost the scroll position. That's happening because Turbo is replacing the body of the page. I'm losing all the context, all the screen state that is stored in the body of the document. So the scroll gets reset, CSS transitions get also reset. If there is some text selected, is lost. So, but especially the scroll thing is very noticeable. So uh, imagine that you wanted to add more fidelity to these interactions. So you want to, for example, when you complete a task, you don't want to get that scroll jump here. So I'm going to show how to do that with Turbo Stream Actions, and then I'm going to show how to do that with Morphing, okay? For the Stream Actions path, we are going to first create a branch, which is going to be Stream Actions branch, so that we can get the changes isolated later. We need to modify the update action to use an stream action instead of a redirect to. So we are going to add a new response handler here. For the HTML format, we want to use the default, the redirect we had in place, so that the system still work with clients that doesn't support Turbo Stream Actions. And we are going to use a new handler, Turbo Stream, for this new action. So let's define that action. So I'm going to go to the view folder and I'm going to, I'm going to create a new file there, which is going to be update TurboStream ERB. Okay, so now what we want to do here is to replace the to-do row in the table. So we are going to use a TurboStream replace action. We are going to pass the ID of the task here, which is what we are using in the template as the ID of the row. And here we are going to replace, we are going to use the project task template, which contains the row. We need to pass also the project and the task, okay, for this partial. So if everything goes well, and I go here and I click, yeah, that's working. As you can see, the scroll is being kept. And if I check the DOM, that means that we are just changing a single row in the page. We are not modifying anything else. The screen state is preserved, and it feels really good. Now, one problem here is that we need to do more things here because, for example, when I'm completing a task, now the progress bar is not updating, and that's because we need to do that. We are like in a manual mode. We have said, okay, we take care about updating the page, so now it's our responsibility to update all the regions in the screen. So we would need to do kind of the same for the progress bar. So to see how to do that, we can go to how we are rendering projects. There is a header here, and here we are using this helper for rendering the progress bar. So we need to do essentially the same. Uh, we need to do essentially the same. We need to say, okay, replace DOM ID. The DOM ID for the progress bar, we can read that from the helper here. So I'm going to use that. The project is an instance variable, and as the helper of the page, we are sorry, at the content of the HTML content to replace is invoking the helper with the project instance variable. So if everything goes well, yeah, that's working now. Now we get like the progress bar updated too. Finally, we should like update this counter down here that is not being updated whenever I complete. Again, you have to do the same. That counter is being rendered as part of the list of tasks. Yeah, we are using this as the content. So we are going again to duplicate this. We want to replace, this is the content we want to replace. The ID we want to use is DOM ID project with this like namespace complete count. So we are going to use this to replace this DOM ID. Okay, this is an instance variable. Let me see if that's working. Yeah, that's working too. So now we have like, we are updating like all the screen regions, right? Uh, well, it's not all the screen regions. Like this is an example of why a partial updates is complex. We will be introducing a bug with this change, which is that if I go to a project with fewer tasks, if I start completing tasks, and I click delete, I'm getting this warning like saying there are uncompleted tasks when there aren't uncompleted tasks. And that's because if we search this button, um, that button is using like this logic here to show the alert when unless the project is completed, unless all the tasks are completed. So we are not accounting for that. We should still do the same here. We should add like another for replacement to say, okay, replace also the button. We want because I need to that logic to get refreshed after each completion. And just I won't do that now, but we should do a similar thing for destroy, for example. The logic will be kind of similar. This will be identical. This will be different because we need to remove the row of the table. Same for create. Again, we will need to reuse some common logic that we should probably struct to a partial, and we would need to prepend the new task to the table, okay, so that it gets placed at the right spot. So my point is that stream actions, take work, okay? They have a cost. They are very responsive, but they come with really a steep downgrade in programming happiness. As if you think of happiness as productivity and sensation of making progress and and building something very robust, very fast. Okay, so turbo stream actions are great, but they have a cost. Um, So now I'm going to push this to this to GitHub. This is going to be stream actions. I'm going to push that to the branch. I'm going to go back to the initial branch, and now I'm going to create a new branch. I'm going to create a new branch which is going to be page refreshes. Okay, so I will show you how to do this with Turbo page refreshes, which is the new feature we are introducing in Rails in Rails 8. So I'm using like the beta version that we released last week. So this is something you can do in your application if you want to try. So I'm going to go to the first thing you need to do, and the only thing you need to do is to enable the feature. So I'm going to enable it globally. In this case, I'm going to use a new helper that is page turbo refreshes with the method is going to be morph. Okay, and I want to I want the scroll to be preserved. Okay, so just with those directives, well, I also need to yield the head section of the layout so that this works, because this directive works here in the head, or also it will work on any arbitrary page of your application. Okay, so I'm using it in the header because I want to enable it for all the pages in my case. But in your case, if it's an existing application, you probably want to do this only in certain screens so that you can test the thing incrementally, okay, instead of enabling it for all the screens in your application. So just with this in place, I'm going to reload, and I want to show you the difference. Let me go to this project that had more tasks. Well, it's the same anyway. I'm going to create more vertical space here. Yeah, as you can see, the scroll is being kept. If I open the DOM, if I click here, you can see something interesting here. Check the progress bar here. Check the task here. Check the counter here. You can see how everything is updated. Exactly, only the regions of the screen that are changing are being updated automatically. And if I go to the controller, this is the interesting thing, is that this is a regular redirect too. I haven't had to respond to any new format. I haven't had to define any new stream action templates for this. This is all working with the initial version of the application. The only thing I've done is to enable it like this. So when you enable this, what this does is that Turbo is going to detect page refreshes automatically, and it's going to treat them with the configuration you use here. So by default, a page refresh, first of all, is an operation where you reload the current page you are at again. So you are here listing the task of the project. I create a new task. This is going to the server, this is coming back, and I'm reloading the same URL because it's a redirect to the page where the request originated. That's a page refresh, okay? You are loading the current page again. So Turbo detects those page refreshes automatically, and it lets you use this new morphing concept, which is, we are using a library called Idiomorph under the hood. Idiomorph takes the new body that you want to update, and instead of replacing the old body with a new body, it's going to calculate the difference, and it's going to do what I showed you there. It's going to update only the regions that change, and it feels really good in practice. Like I'm creating tasks. If I delete a task, it's get deleted, the scroll is kept, everything gets updated, and it feels really smooth. So that's morphing with page refreshes in action. Now let me push this to the branch. This is going to be using page refreshes. Now let's talk about another important feature we are introducing, which is broadcasting. Okay, so I'm going to the stream action branch again. Here I want to do the following change. Okay, imagine that I'm going to place this here. I'm going to put another screen beside. Okay, so imagine that you have this and you wanted that this was a collaborative application, and when someone was completing tasks here, you got like this screen updated. Okay, how would you do that with turbo stream actions? So the way to do that with turbo stream actions is oops, sorry, I'm not in the branch. I want to go to the stream actions branch, to this one. Okay, I was in a branch that I had used for practicing this. So um, this is the branch I wanted to show you. So we have the model, and something we want to do that. Imagine that we want to focus on the update operation. We want to, whenever you complete a task, you want to see it updated here. So we need to do two things. One thing is that we need the model or the server to broadcast that stream action whenever a task changes. In this case, whenever a task gets updated. So we are going to say, we are going to add a new action, sorry, a new callback, which is after the task gets updated, we are going to broadcast the signal. The signal we want to use here is actually the stream action that we already created. It's not a mere replacement, as Copilot is suggesting here, because we need to, if you remember, we essentially want to do this. We want to replace the task, replace the counter, replace the progress bar. So we are going to just reuse the template that we created. So to do that, we are going to use a replace render later action to the project. The partial we are going to use, well, we are going to create it, but it's going to be something like tasks update, and I need to pass the task and the project again for this partial to work. So we have this update, but this is not like a partial. This is like the main template for the action. So I'm going to essentially create the same partial. I'm going to, instead of using instance variables, I need to use local variables here. So I'm going to replace this. I'm going to replace this. Okay. So now this should work. We would also like reuse that partial here. So we would say, okay, reuse the update stream action. The task is going to be the task, and the project is going to be the project. So that way, at least we are not duplicating code, like to reuse the action. So if everything works well, we still need to do another more thing, which is we need to go to the project show template, and we need to subscribe to the project itself, which is the record we are using to infer the stream name we are broadcasting signals to. So this is going to be turbo stream from project. Okay, just with that, we're going to trigger the connection logic through WebSockets. So now, if I complete an action here, as you can see, the right screen, I'm making changes on the right screen, and the left screen is reflecting those. Again, if we wanted to use this mechanism, um, for all the interactions, we would need to do the same for creating tasks. So we would need like another of these for creating tasks, another one of these for destroying tasks. We would need to reuse the partials. We will need to use new partials here. And this will be only for one screen. Imagine that you wanted to also to make, okay, so whenever I complete tasks here, I want to this screen also to get updated. How would you do that? Well, you will have to duplicate the signals, duplicate the broadcast, and maybe namespace them. So this is for the index screen, and this is for the show screen, for example. Something that you can use to namespace the stream name and differentiate the channels you want to subscribe to from the views. So my point is that there will be like an explosion, and it will be like a lot of work, a lot of maybe not super complex work when you think of a very simple application like this with 2 or 3 interactions. But if you have a real world application in mind, this would end up being quite a system to maintain, and where you can introduce bugs and everything. Okay, so let me push this there. I'm going to push this change broadcast to the branch, to the page refreshes, sorry, to the stream actions branch. Now I'm going to the page refreshes branch again, and I'm going to show you how to do the same thing, but way more powerful, in a way more simple way with page refreshes. So what I'm going to do is to go to the task model, and I'm going to say, okay, whenever you, I'm going to add this touch true declaration in the association, meaning that whenever you create, modify, or delete a task, the project is going to be touched. Okay, it's going to be updated. You want to do this, you know, in real applications anyway, because of caching. If you're using dual caching, and you should probably be using dual caching, you do this so that whenever a new task appears in the model, like the cache, yeah, the cache for the container projects get invalidated automatically. So this is something you normally do you already have that in place in real applications. Now, we want to say, okay, so any task is going to touch the project. Now I'm going to go to the project, and I'm going to say, okay, this project is going to broadcast refreshes. So whenever the project changes, it's going to broadcast a page refresh signal to the screens that are subscribed to it. And this is under the hood. There is some fancy mechanisms here that are going to prevent, for example, they are going to debounce. Like if you have like a lot of page refreshes signals, only one is going to make it through. And it's using some things under the hood so that things work well in real applications. But from the programmer point of view, this is just this is the API, broadcast refreshes. So we still want to go uh, to the screen, to the show template for projects, and I'm going to say turbo stream from the project. Okay. So if everything goes well, and I'm in the project 3. So if I go to the project 3 here, okay. So now if I complete something here, yeah, you can see how it's getting updated here. If there was some scroll here, of course it will be kept. So check, I'm at the bottom of the screen here, at the top of the screen. You can see the counter here, how it's updating. 12, 13, 14. If I create a new task, it also works. It works with creating, it works with deleting. The progress bar is being updated. All the actions are covered. All the actions are covered by just this very simple call here. And it's very easy to extend. So now we are being comprehensive, and it's very easy to extend this to other screens. So you can say, okay, I want to go to the index projects screen and do the same. So I'm going to go to the index screen, and here we want to do the same here, but for all the projects. So we want to say, okay, for all the projects, projects of this screen, I'm going to subscribe to each channel. Okay, just like that. I'm going to subscribe to each channel. So whenever a project changes, I'm going to get the update. So check the project 3 here. If I uncomplete tasks, you can see how the progress bar is moving. If I create a new task, it's going to be updated too. So so this is working for all the actions, all the changes with one line of code, and you can extend the system to all the screens you want with very little effort. I think it's a tremendous conceptual compression, a tremendous simplification compared to using turbo stream actions for broadcasting. Also, notice how, again, as a programmer point of view, I don't have to care about, from the model, I don't have to care about which changes affect which screen regions. And in the views, I don't have to care either about which models affect each section. So if I have like a counter here, I don't care about whether this must get updated or not. The system is going to do that on my behalf. Okay, so the concern is completely removed from your mind, or the things you have to care about as a programmer. Okay, so this is Turbo 8 page refreshes. This is we released the beta last week. We are already receiving bug reports. Please, if you try this, if you find issues, let us know. I hope you liked it, and thanks for your time.